And at that time I went out, I had all these other things that I wanted to look at, and being in the industry as an accountant, I had access to professionals in the area. So I went off to one person and got my insurances done. I needed a car. I went off to someone else and got a car lease done. I went off to a financial planner and he started me in train of putting a budget together. I needed a new accountant. So you might find that your partner was the one with the relationship with all these financial professionals. They dealt with the accountant. They dealt with someone on mortgages. They dealt with all the financial issues. So you've got to step back and actually build up those relationships yourself. And as I said, I found I went to this person on accounting. I went over here to get my insurances sorted out, a financial planner over here, and someone on a lease over here. It was such a fragmented approach, and time again, which I just got tired of, was explaining my story. You know, you've gone through all this pain, you don't want to tell everyone again. So it was, well, this is what my situation is, this is where I want to go to. Such a fragmented approach. And also, the person that did my car lease, do you think he asked me if I could afford that lease? No. He wanted to sell the business. He wanted to get me, I suppose, the most expensive car because he was going to do well out of that. He didn't ask the question, could I afford it? He didn't ask the question of, well, was that the most tax-effective way to actually structure that lease? So everything was fragmented. When I came through and actually met my partner in the business now, Martin, who's a financial planner, he said to me, why do you have $3 million worth of life insurance? Well, because I was told that that's how much I needed, and even though I'm an accountant and should be aware of these things, I was emotionally attached. I didn't want my daughter to be left on her own and not financially looked after, so I wanted to, get the most amount of insurance I could. I didn't know why I had that much. It was an emotional decision. I remember picking up at her daycare information on an education fund. Oh, I need an education fund because I want my daughter to go to private school. The lady actually came, I rang her and she said, well, when's your daughter turn 1? Oh, in a couple of days. Well, I've got to come over tonight because you've got to get in before she's 1, and it just works out better that way. So here I had someone in my house at 10 o'clock at night trying to sign me on the bottom line for this education fund because my daughter was turning 1 the next day. It was such an emotional decision. I was so emotionally involved in these financial decisions. So not only have you gone through all this emotion of trying to split up this lovely big pot to come to your little pot, you then find that even if it was a marriage or a relationship, you're on your own. There's no one to bounce off a decision with. And look, I was the one who actually looked after our finances in our relationship. But I always had someone to confer to. I always had like a sounding board. Here I'm on my own. I was the one making those decisions and they were emotionally driven. So coming through this process, and as I said, you're here with a smaller piece of the pot. There's all these issues that need to be addressed. What's going to happen if I can't work? I need to get my wills fixed up. I need to find a new accountant. When I set up a business, how am I going to do that? It's all about putting an actual plan in place. Stepping out emotionally from it all, looking back, okay, what is the end picture? What am I actually trying to achieve at the end of the day? And then coming back from there, well, this is the strategy that I need to put in place to get to that end goal. Stepping away emotionally. We always tell our clients that finances are numbers, and numbers don't lie. Looking at numbers is an unemotional decision. You need to step out emotionally and look at those issues. So the first process to go in building and gaining that financial security following either a divorce or a separation is to get a plan in place. Sit down and think about, well, what do I want to achieve? When do I want to retire? How long do I want to work for? How do I want to provide for my children? How do I want to provide for myself? Do I want to set up a business? How long am I going to be working for? Start thinking about what you want to achieve. And as I said, it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do, that you're fully empowered and in control to make those decisions yourself, and it's all about you, what you actually want to do. You don't have to think about someone else. It's all about what you want to achieve for yourself for the future. So get a good plan in place. Look at your objectives and get a plan in place to work towards those objectives.